Hello, this is David Klecker. I am the creator of AutoHARP3, Harp Sci-Fi. I'm going to create this video tutorial to talk about everything that is in the Harp Sci-Fi Extreme module, the package that you will get when you download and install that database. Automatically, you're going to see a whole new update to the main screen. So you'll see that we have a Create Vehicle button. We have the ability for you to open a character or a vehicle. Actually, you can even open a monster character sheet. That's also a part of the module. You can open up a campaign like normal. You can open up a combat as normal, but you can now open up a vehicle combat if we have one that's set up. And you can open up a random NPC window and create some random NPC characters. Let's start with the random NPC. It's a great way to create quick character sheets. For example, if I wanted to create a quick level 5 character that is a human profession, let's say a human spy. Let's create a quick and early kind of futuristic James Bond kind of character here. Let's go ahead and make it aristocratic common, maybe even, yeah, it's just a kind of a common character. And a couple of things that you will notice is that with select traits, you can select any traits that you want, or you can just allow the NPC generator to create, to pick these randomly. Also, if you wanted to create a virtual or robot character, you can do so here by clicking on either one of these or clicking on both of them. If we click on Create NPC, it's going to go through its process. When it's finished, it's going to bring up a window to save this character sheet to. So August Graydon is the name of my character. I'm going to save. It's going to tell me that it has saved successfully, and I can go ahead and create more random NPCs, as many as is necessary. It's a great way to create some quick characters for a campaign, especially if you want to create some quick characters for some NPC, for encounters, whatever you think you can use to, or however you think you would like to use this random NPC generator. I'm going to go ahead and close this and show you what the NPC generator does in fact do for you. It will create armor for you. It will give you weapons. Now, some of these weapons, as you can see, we have ranks in them. But what happened here is in my equipment, I have not equipped anything. So as you can see, I have a full inventory of equipment, but I need to start equipping some of this stuff. It has equipped my light body armor, and it has equipped the helmet and the vest, but I haven't equipped anything like weapons. So I have an assault blaster that I should equip, and it's going to show up there in my weapons. I have a blaster pistol that I could also equip, and there it will show up also in my attacks. I have all of my talents, all of my profession abilities, all of the skills that have ranks in them. If I have any psi abilities, those would have been listed here as well. Again, as I said, a full inventory of equipment. And in my notes, it will show you all of those traits that it selected. And that is basically your random NPC generator. Let's see, what else can I show you? Let's see, we have a random monster. So you can also download and export, or I should say import, a monster from the database. It's going to be a template of that monster. And what can happen is you can save this to a monster character sheet. And this monster character sheet you can use to, you can change things up. You can change the template up. You can customize it. And then you can save that, and you can use it however you want in future games. So for example, if I want to take this giant ant and I want to export this monster to a character sheet, I can go ahead and just say, I'm going to select export monster here, and it's going to save this to a character sheet. And then it's going to open up this character sheet inside of this window. Just like Harp Fantasy, if you have Harp Fantasy, if you've downloaded it and used it. This character sheet is a template, but I can go ahead and I can make changes to this template. I can edit the information here. I can change its description, its outlook, its initiative, its size. I can go ahead and increment level. I'll show you what that does just a little bit later. We can go ahead and edit some values for my armor, my talent DB, my special DB, my casting ability, focus item. I can update its BMR information. I can even add a new BMR information if that's what I would like to do, by just adding in that BMR information like that. It'll show up here under miscellaneous. I have all of my resistance information, my critical information. I have my attacks for now. I have the bite attack. I have all of my statistics, and I can edit any of those. I have my talents, and I can click on these and it will bring up the edit talent window, so I can change the description of the talent. I can even delete the talent if I want to add in let's say a different talent. I want to swap one talent for another. I have all of these skills with all of these ranks. It's total bonus. I can even roll on any of these skills. For example, if I wanted to roll on climbing, I can click on this roll button, and it will give me the maneuver roll for the giant ant for climbing up a wall, or whatever, what have you. I can do that for any of these skills. I can even just randomly roll just a generic roll. For example, if I click on this die icon here and I want to just generically roll a 1d100, I can do so by clicking on this, just like in the character sheet itself, changing up its maneuver penalty, changing up any modifiers. However you would like to use the die roll is completely up to you. That you can use it here on the monster character sheet. I can add manually ranks. I can even delete ranks manually if that's what I would like to do. I can go ahead and add a Sci field. I can click on Add Sci field. I can add a Sci discipline field here, give it a highest tier of 3, and it will add that Sci field to my monster. I can add items by just selecting the item that I would like. For example, I might want to, let's say, have a weapon. Let's actually give this an archaic weapon. Let's give him a broadsword. I'm going to go ahead and add that item. And I can add items to my monster. Now the neat thing that I can show you at the same time as adding an item is if I were to add, say, a attack item, like a broadsword item, you'll notice that that attack item, that broadsword, has created a skill up here. And another thing is if I were to equip this, you'll notice that I now have an attack. And if I were to rank up my broadsword, it will in fact rank up the attacks and actions. If this isn't working, if you find that you're trying to increment a rank and it's not updating the attacks and actions, what's probably happening is that the ID for this field is not matching the ID for this field. And what does that mean? Well, if I go into Edit Skill, there's an ID, a skill ID that looks just like this. If this matches exactly the ID that's listed right here, then they will be linked, and then the OB will be updated if I rank up this skill. So if you find that they're not working, it's a possibility that that may have gotten updated. That should never happen, but you never know. These things could potentially just crop up, but that's a quick way where you can fix it. You'll notice that with Bite, if I were to add ranks to Bite, it'll update the OB here, because again, the skill ID combat racial bite is going to be the same as the skill ID here for combat racial bite for the attack. One thing that I wanted to show you later on, as I have now shown you everything about this monster, is the increment level. And the increment level does exactly what you think it does. It's going to increment the ant to level 3, and it's going to do so by adding ranks to my skills. It's going to go ahead and add things to my statistics. And that's basically about it. So let's see what happens when I increment my level to, let's say, level 5. So increment to 3, to 4, you'll notice that it's updating my skills here, and then to 5. So I now have 3 ranks in biokinesis. I now have 18 in endurance. You'll notice that my resistance has gone up. You'll notice that my OB has gone up for both of my attacks. You'll notice that in some cases, my statistics has even changed. And that's basically it for monsters. You can go ahead and you can save this monster, and now this monster can become your template for any giant ant that you would like to use. This could be an ant that's probably on a planet that you might have in mind for your campaign. All right, I want to start showing some other things. I think I'm going to go to the dashboard here and see. Yes, I got 2 characters. I'm not too sure if I even have shown you the dashboard of this yet, but if I haven't, going into the tools and clicking on dashboard allows you to see all of your character sheets that you have loaded, any monsters you have loaded, and of course any vehicles that you have loaded. I want to load up my character sheet for just a quick second because I would like to show you a few things when it comes to cybernetics. So let's go ahead and click on Create Cybernetics for a character. And this is how we add cyberware to your character. So you're going to click on Tools, Create Cybernetics. It's going to bring you to this screen. Go ahead and click on Add Cyberware to Character, and then go ahead and select the cyber device category that you would like to add a device to. So the devices are going to be selected based on the category. And let's say I want to add a cyber hand. This is the amount of money that I have, 10,398 souls. And this is how much it's going to cost as a base. So we'll select a biotype. Biological device type will be a cyber hand. And a defense bonus +1, and you'll notice that if I make it to +1, that it's going to adjust the dB to, or it's going to adjust the cost for my cyber device by 10. So it's going to actually cost me 25,000. And if I were to add it plus 10, it adjusts my cost another additional 10. So it's actually going to cost me 250,000 to have this kind of a cyber device, a little over my budget. So I'm going to go ahead and not select those. So the actual cost is going to be 2,500 souls. The number of skill ranks required is in fact 3. I don't believe that I have 3 ranks in my cyber arm skill just yet because I haven't rigged that up yet. But when I do, then I should have enough ranks going in my cyber device that I should be able to use it. All I need is 3. So as long as I put 3 in there, I should be able to use my cyber hand. Now to add this, you can do one of 2 things. You can add the cyberware that bypasses purchasing the cyberware just like an item, or we can go ahead and purchase it. Well, let's just say that this is after the campaign has started, and let's say I lost my hand in battle, so I'm going to get a cyber hand to replace it, so I'm going to purchase this as cyberware. Once you do that, it will put up a indicator that says that I have a cyber hand. It's a clickable field. I can go ahead and click on that, and it will give me all of the information about this particular cyber device. So the category, the device name, technology is mature, so that's not listed, but it is a mature technology. Biological, and then I don't have any DB or EMP bonus because I didn't select any of that. It gives me the description, and it also gives me a malfunction. And how does that work? This is blank for now, but let's just say, for example, that I used my hand as a, to block something, or maybe my hand I did something and my hand got damaged. I was in a crash or something like that, and maybe my hand got damaged. So what I can do is I can open up a cyberware malfunction, and I can say, look, maybe my hand got attacked by a tiny, a critical set had hit my hand. So I'm going to say, okay, well then it was a tiny attack, and it was not about temperature, it's not about atmospheres, and there's no EMP roll that's happening here. It's just a standard roll. So I roll, dice, and let's say I roll a 45. And so I click on the roll, and it's going to give me the maneuver critical results. So the unit was damaged. It's a -10 to any maneuvers that I use with the cyber hand. It's at 80%. It's going to take me about 30 minutes to repair it, and it's going to cost about 5% of the cyber hand. So whatever 5% of 2,500 is, whatever the GM determines is going to be the cost that it's going to, that's going to take me to fix this. Now I can click on Apply Malfunction to Cyberware, and it's going to go ahead and add that malfunction to that cyber device. Another thing that I can do is I can edit this device, and so I can go ahead and make changes to its biotype, device parts, defensive bonus, and so on and so on. And I can go ahead and just click on Add Cyberware. Another thing that I can do is I can add sub-devices to my device. So for example, if I clicked on this plus button, and I wanted to add a sub-device, like for example, let's say I wanted to have a scanner built into the cyber hand. And I'm going to have it also be biological. It's going to be a cyber hand, no defense bonus, no EMP bonus. Now the actual cost, I guess it's 5 times whatever the scanner cost. Let's say that the scanner, if we were to look that up, is roughly about, I don't know, we'll say it's about 10 souls to buy a scanner. It might even be more than that. We'll say it's 100. It's a good scanner. So it's going to be 500 souls to buy this. So we'll put down 500. And then we can go ahead and we can purchase this. And it's now added as a sub-device to my cyber hand. And that also too can have malfunctions attached to it as well. If you wanted to delete it, let's say you got rid of it and you installed something else, you can always click on this delete trash can button here, and it will remove that sub-device. And you can also delete the device from you can basically take it off and put something new there. So if you replaced your cyber hand with something else, you can always delete the device itself. Going back to main screen for just 1 second, you're going to notice in your equipment that we have added that cyber device as inventory to my character. There's the cyber hand located right there. It doesn't have any weight, so I should probably maybe think about putting some kind of weight attached to it. It's probably nothing that maybe it's negligible. Maybe it's the exact size of the weight of what a normal hand would be, so it's not going to encumber me all that much. It's going to be the same as my other hand, so I mean, why would that encumber me in any way? But the scanner might have some weight to it. We might want to consider putting a little bit of weight on that scanner. Who knows? It's up to the GM to decide how we would like to determine that. But those are both in there, and we could, say at one point, because they are in inventory, there's something that can be taken away, that maybe that hand was taken away and I'm not carrying it anymore. So we basically say, well, I'm not carrying it, so I'm going to turn off the carried toggle switch. Let's see. Let's go back to tools for just a second. I'm going to do create vehicle a little bit later. The convert character to virtual. So let's say that you created this character sheet, and let's say that something happened along the way, and you're going to want to take this this character and you want to insert him into an AI somehow. You're going to be able to do that. So we're going to go to Tools, Convert Character to Virtual. It's going to say this cannot be undone, so we're going to continue. It's going to ask me to save, so I will save this character sheet, and it will save as August Graydon Virtual Character. And it's going to be the same character sheet as I had before, except now all of its physical abilities have basically been wiped out. It's just an AI. It's just something that sits on a desk, or it could be placed into a robot. So if you wanted to create a robot and integrate this character sheet into that robot, that is something else that you could also do. All right, I want to close this character sheet off for just a second. I want to go back to the main screen here, so I'm going to have to close off this monster as well. And I want to click on Create Vehicle. I want to show you how the vehicles work in Sci Fi Extreme. So clicking on this, it's the same idea as monsters. I'm going to be importing a vehicle from the database. I'm going to be importing a template, and then I'm going to customize that template to my design. So let's go ahead and we will import a space vehicle. And let's import a Corvette. Let's save changes. And I'm going to now be shown the template of the Corvette that I can go ahead and I can make changes to. So for example, instead of calling it a Corvette, maybe I can call it the Haley. I don't know. Just thinking of a name in general, and I just can't think of names, especially names that I can kind of spell. I've got names going through my mind, but I'm like, I don't know if I can spell that name. I want to be able to make a tutorial where I'm not making spelling errors. So I'm just going to call it Haley, whatever. What do we get when we get to our vehicle template? Well, I can add types. I have a vehicle type. Every vehicle is going to have at least one type to it. That type tells me, where is this vehicle operating in? Is it operating in space, in the air? Is it gravatic? Is it on the water? Is it just marine in general? Is it underwater? Am I driving this? Is it tracked? What have you? What kind of vehicle type am I looking at? And if you want, you can always go ahead and add a new type, and I can say that this vehicle is both space and it's air. So if it's an air, I want to use the airplane subskill as a means of piloting this thing through the air, and maybe this has a speed of 39,000 in the air as well. No light speed or acceleration in the atmosphere, but it has a KHP of 39,000. In space, it has a top speed of 39,000, but it also has a ability to go into light speed at 0.07 with an acceleration of 600 gravities. Now, if you want to activate the vehicle as working in air, you can click on Activate, and so now it's going to use the KPH, the 39,000, as its means of traveling. That's how fast it's going to go, and this will be the rank or the subskill that will be used when you pilot it. If you use space as your active vehicle type, then it's going to use the Starfighter as the subskill for piloting this. Okay, again, if you want to delete this, you can go ahead and click on the delete button. It'll get rid of that type. This is what it's going to cost, which I believe is 650 million, so very expensive. There's the weight in kilograms, the number of passengers it can carry, the cargo in square meters, its initiative, which is very low. You might want to consider updating that. However, you feel like a rule would be to update that. The number of hits, its armor, its shields, its electronic warfare. If it has a point defense system, maybe you want to install it. That would, of course, add to its cost. Any sort of weapon rating, its maneuver bonus, if we're going to be flying around and having a maneuver bonus attached to it. Its energy, however you want to use that, how many energy tanks it has, and how many multipliers of these energy tanks. So We have a group of 400, and we just have one of those groups, and they all seem to be using fusion. It's a attack size of large, and it has a scale size of a vehicle. And there's 3 of these: capital ship, which is a big ship, 1 person, and that's, a very small, like an escape pod type ship, and then a vehicle itself, which holds quite a few people. And this picture, I can go ahead and browse, and I can change the picture of my ship. If you have a custom picture that you want to use, you can go ahead and use that. The weapons are all down here. There are a lot of them for this Corvette. I mean, we've got 2, 3, 4 laser cannons and 4 autocannons and 2 space missiles. And so that's quite a few weapons. Neat thing that we can do is we can go ahead and we can create some linked arrays with this. For example, I'm going to create a linked array out of my laser cannons. And I'm going to call them Laser Cannon Mark III linked array. I'm going to create that linked array. Another thing that you can create is a battery array. So for example, maybe I want 2 laser cannons, 2 auto cannons, and a space missile to be launched when I click on this battery array. So we're going to go ahead and create this, but I need a name, so we're going to call this Weapons Battery Array Type 1, and hopefully we will know what that means. What's going to happen with this is this name is going to show up as an attack that you can select. Like back in combat for Harp Fantasy, you can select the broadsword, for example, or a dagger. In doing the vehicle for combat, you can select the laser that you're going to use or the autocannon that you're going to use, but in this case, you can select Laser Cannon Mark III linked array, and it's going to use all 4 of these as a linked array and using the rules from the book that handles a linked array attack. I'm going to go ahead and click on Finished, and if I go back and look at this, it saves that information. I can save any of the properties for any of my weapons if that's something that you want to do. But from here on out, one more thing that we should probably do is we should consider adding crew. Now, the thing that you would want to do is you would want to have character sheets that have been opened up and loaded already into your application here. For example, if I were to go to File, Open, and I should have a character sheet that I can open up here, let's say Bobby, for example, and I go back to this vehicle, go to Dashboard and click on the Corvette, and then I go to Crew, add a crew member. I can click on this, click on it again, and Bobby will show up as a selectable character sheet, and I can go ahead and I can add positions. I think she handles direct fire, indirect fire, and missile weapons, so I can go ahead and add those positions. So if any time I want Bobby to run some kind of an action during combat, she can pick any one of those 3, and that's going to be the skill bonus that she's going to have when she rolls on that. And I can add as many crew members as necessary. And if I just want to add a manual character, for example, I'm just going to add Pilot. I'll just call him Pilot. I can add the position to this character sheet. I'll say Pilot for 1 position, and I'll say Electronic Warfare for another. We'll say 50 for that and 25 for that. I mean, I can give it a name. It's probably easier to do that, but I think I have lost that ability to do that. If I can always delete, and then I can go ahead and rename this to something else if I wanted to do that. I'm done creating a vehicle, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this vehicle by clicking on Save Vehicle. It's going to go ahead and give me a select name or character to save it to. I'm going to save it to that AHP file. And I have successfully created a vehicle that I can now use at any time. Something else that I can use when I use this vehicle is I can always use this vehicle skill. This can be used however you want to use it. This is just a way to, use a skill for driving, use a skill for firing, whatever you want to use, however you feel like you need to use this vehicle skill. It's coming straight from the Harp Sci-Fi book. All of the modifiers are here, all of the circumstances are here, and you can either use the vehicles that are listed here. For example, we have Corvette, and so I'm going to select space. It's going to give me the speed of my vehicle, any modifiers that I would like to attach to it, and I can go ahead and I can say that roll a 67 on this maneuver, and I have successfully rolled a 110 with a bonus of a +10. however you want to use it. But the nice thing that can be used for this particular application is, let's say that I crashed into something. Well, then I can select the object that I crashed into. Like, for example, if I'm in outer space, there's not a whole heck of a lot to crash into other than maybe a house-sized meteor. It's a large attack object. That's going to be an impact critical. And maybe there's going to be a crash OB associated with that. Maybe we'll say, depending on the speed of my vehicle, we'll say 50, if that's how fast I'm going. The dB of my vehicle we'll say is 40, because I think I have 30 for armor, 10 for my shields. So that's about 40 right there. And if I want to apply it to either Bobby or Pilot, I can do so. But right now, let's go ahead and roll my vehicle crash. I should probably put a roll in here, actually. So let's put in a 75. And it will say that a vicious blast knocks foe head over heels. So you can use that however you want. Maybe you can say that the vicious blast knocked the vehicle head over heels. So I'm flipping the vehicle. And so I can apply that to whomever I want, but it's not really being used in the combat setting. It's being used outside of combat. So it's just a quick way to get some quick information about you using a vehicle outside of combat to get, a movement maneuver satisfied or a movement maneuver performed. And you can use it with any vehicle. Maybe you're a crew member of a vehicle, of a space vehicle, so you can go ahead and just select Space Vehicles Corvette, and you can go ahead and just put in whatever the speed is and go from there. It's completely and entirely up to you how you would like to use it. One other thing that I would like to show you is traveling. Nice thing about traveling is that I can also use the same vehicle, the Corvette vehicle, as a way to travel through the system. So for example, if I want to travel from, let's say, Earth, and I want to travel to Jupiter. The nice thing about having Corvette selected is that it's already put in the light speed in fraction of 1 value here, the gravities, the acceleration, and its rest speed. And it has given me that the time to get from Earth to Jupiter using my Corvette is going to take me about 11.3 hours if it's near orbit, or 16.73 hours if it's far orbit. You can use it however you want. Traveling is a great way to get information about how to travel from one system to another. It's also a great way to get information about the system that you're going to. Go ahead and select the planet, the sector, system, planet, and or moon, and you'll get all the information about that planet and, of course, a description of that planet. If you're going to be traveling interstellarly, you can always go ahead and select, let's say, for example, I'm at Gilgamesh and I'm going to travel to Takna, if that's how you pronounce that. I'm going to go ahead and click on Calculate. It's going to use the Corvette's values to calculate, first of all, to calculate how long it's going to take. I mean, the distance is always the same, but using my Corvette's values, it's going to tell me that it's going to take me 212 hours to travel that distance. I mean, that's going to take some time, but it's still within 24 into 212, I guess, is a little bit less than, could be about 9 days to get there. I guess that's not too bad, but it's entirely up to you how you would like to use that information in your campaign. Okay, let's go back to main screen and let's see if I have missed anything. I've already done cybernetics, traveling vehicle, skill, create vehicle, so the only thing left is to talk about vehicle combat when it comes to the Harp Sci Fi Extreme. I'm going to put that into a completely different tutorial so I can spend some quality time talking about vehicle combat. So until then, thank you so much for purchasing AutoHARP3 and happy gaming.